hottest station is now live for your enjoyment with host iamBranded.
All right, perfect. Let's get it started. This is Charles Madison of Nexxlegacy Radio, and I have royalty as my guest. Not only been a follower and a supporter, not just way up here in the Bay, but I know there's a global love and support for this woman and her contributions to the music game, and I just can't wait to just talk to this woman about just music and life and evolution of all things. So Medusa, the godmother of hip hop, in my opinion, and everybody else's opinion, was good, girl.
That's love. It's all good, to be honest. It's moving the way it should, and I'm motivated in it. You know what I mean?
Well, I literally, when I have the opportunity to talk to someone who's cultivated and created and did a lot of things to this business that, is memorable in my opinion. Like, I feel like at the end of the day, we got to address it and give love and give flowers to people while they still here and say thank you and everything else. So thank you, Queen, for doing what you've done and still got enough to be able to give game to the younger folks. So I appreciate it.
I appreciate that. You don't understand that things like that are very inspiring for an artist, period, just to know that folks are still out there checking for me and curious to the extent of my movements. And it's I can't do it without the supporters. I couldn't have been doing it this long without, the exchange of energy. And the youngsters right now are really heavy on my radar, because there's so many really dope underdogs out there that speak my language, that feel that vibe, So I appreciate you. I appreciate all the flowers.
I think, I mean, it goes without saying, Medusa, I feel like, but then we still got to say it because you just said something important. The young people are still checking for you. They still remember or have memories, or they still want to pay it forward and show that love and respect. Like, you kind of answered it, but I want you to elaborate a little bit, like, why, and I don't even want to say all of a sudden, and I know on your timeline it's still, like, a lot of people that's been checking for you for a long time now. Like, why do you think that is? Not just from the underground scene, but also mainstream. Like, people still got a lot of love and respect for you.
That's an understanding that I'm finding as I travel, and the more I do, or I'm in the company of. And, it just takes consistency. I'm consistently out there and in it and using my voice in a way that folks can relate to, That's isn't that what this art is? You kind of are speaking for someone just by being vulnerable and revealing your own truth. So, any chance I get, and I'm an MC. And a vocalist, so there's a little exhibitionist in that. So I gotta perform. I gotta go touch the mic. You know what I mean. So sometimes it's young folks knowing about me through their parents, or they've been to some of my workshops, or were students in my class, and they come and check for me and realize, like, wow, wait a minute, she's hard. Or they'll go home and say, I just saw a dope MC with a live band, and she's sick, and say it to their mom, Medusa. Wait a minute, Lamert Park Medusa? It goes there. It's nothing like to being appreciated from 8 to 80. That's the range you want right there.
I mean, that's not only love, but I'm glad though. Like, it makes me happy to hear because, like, we are not on this earth for too long, and while we're here, it's important for us to be able to enhance each other in some way, shape, or form, be it if it's just to inspire somebody to do something that they was meant to do, or to give some people some confidence that they feel a little low or their energy levels are not there. And music is a conduit for that. So let me ask you the question I feel like, we all have when it comes to the culture of music. Like, some people will say it's stagnant, there's not enough creativity, and some people think, you know what, you got to search down below to the underground to find those pockets of creativity. What are your thoughts on all this stuff?
Yeah, I think whenever there's a creative thought, a burst in anyone's mind, that's probably the most original that person is going to be, that original thought, that original sound. And a lot of times it doesn't fit the format of what gets paid and played through, being a part of the industry. So to know that underground still exists to where you can be yourself completely and not have to shapeshift into something else, that does make the underground the most unique and the special finding. You know what I mean? It's that coal before the polish, and then when it polished, it dips back in the coal again just to re-experience and
Right.
Yeah, right. It's a necessity for you to dig in that pot. There's so much gold there. I was having this conversation the other day, like Prince. Prince wasn't, the it boy as soon as he came out. He was trying to tour with rock bands, and he wasn't received well at all. But look at him. It's the people like that make the great things happen, that make the movement more elevated and grounded at the same time. You know what I mean? It is still community. It is still vibration. It is still the concern of the vibration. You know what I'm saying? So, I think underground is a necessity when it comes to that. I
mean, I think it carries a lot of creative weight that in some cases the mainstream can't do or won't do for whatever reason. You know how it is. Sometimes you have running you. Sometimes there's no feeling or thoughts or it's just it's metal and everything else when it comes to what a machine is. But when you work down under and find these underground artists and other supporters who really is out there active. And I could give a damn about how many likes, views, hits that you get. If you have 100,000, if it's hitting, if it's coming from deep down and what you really want to be, then that's a win right there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That is the top win. That's a necessity when you're dealing with yourself and your own art. There's always going to be something that inspires you, but that underground has got a makeup. Like we want to be better than our next selves and different from the rest. You know what I mean? And that's like I said, that's where the gold is at. I've been in a part of Leimert Park, and there's so many incredible art out of Leimert. You know about the world stage, Project Blow, Vision Theater, Barbara Morrison's theater. Those are great people that have created this. You know what I'm saying? So if you're gonna go looking for something new and authentic, that would be the area to me. And it raised me into the artist that I am. Those spots. Specifically, the Fifth Street Dicks, the Good Life Cafe, it spawned so many heavyweights. You talking about Far Side, Freestyle Fellowship, AC Alone, you know what I mean? But even like the Ozo Motleys, from back in the day, Will I Am, we spawned some things, and we still generate like that and rejuvenate in that way. We tap in. So I think that keeps it new and saucy and spicy at the same time. It makes you come look for it. And I'm just glad I'm a part of them coming to look for something.
Yeah,
what I mean?
Definitely. Medusa's my guest on Nexxlegacy Radio, and it's interesting that you say that. Like I'm still classic, traditional, old school guy. I'll still go find or dig for crates, so to speak, or keep searching for like avenues where there's like music that I haven't heard before or I forgot. Like, you know how it is, certain songs you hear and it takes you back to whenever, whatever, and however you was feeling at that time. Like, I think that's still vital and important for people to not just search for that circle right there, but search elsewhere for like other artists, the people too, men and women, and anybody else who's really trying to dig deep and find their craft, right?
Yes. I mean, just me being able to work with like a Georgia Ann Muldrow and know all of the heat, all of the beautiful production that she's done for so many people. Like I turn people on to her all the time. And to be able to work with her and create this project, Top Shelf Funk, in the way that we did, it's something special. But no one would know until, you know, they tap in with this current that's happening underground. You know what I'm saying? And that means everything. You won't hear of a Jametta Rose until you got to go tap in. You know, and I think that's not only what we count on, that's what we do for each other. You know, we make sure that we bring people to the table to get this new, and it spans. You know what I mean? If my guy that I've gotten down with, like a big arch or something like that, and I've seen his son grow up, and his son is now 18. Guess what? When he comes and checks my workshop out, when he comes and sees a show, he's going to bring 10 other people with him the next time. And they all going to be around that age, 18, 20, and I'm still going to serve it in a way that's necessary for my energy, you know what I mean, and to push my vitality. So I'm going to rock like this is the first time you ever seen anybody rock. And I think anybody that has the passion for it, that walks the same frequency, they give in that same way. So, you know, and that's what it's about. If I'm electric and I leave you feeling electric when you walk away from this event, then I did what I'm supposed to do. I did what I'm here for.
If I come in with a vibe and Medusa is that vibe, and that vibe elevates because of your presence and your energy, that's what music is for, right?
Yes.
Like, that's what we pour into each other when it comes to, like, the gift. So I'm going to ask you something on a creative level before I kind of take a dive deep into what you've been up to and all that stuff. But creatively, I feel like, you know, there is a 50-50. There's an imbalance, in my opinion. Like, there's other people who are trying to be other people, and, you know, certain styles get adopted and literally, like, not finesse. Like, I'm just remembering back in the day when Michael Jackson said, "Hey, I'm learning from all the greats, so I can be great." But what he didn't do was copy their style. He elevated it and took it up a level, right? So here we are in this culture of copycats and the culture of lip syncing and the culture of AI and everything else that comes with it. Where do you see it fit? And not only that, like, how can we evolve past that so we could still bring forward honest, creative music as opposed to dealing with, like, shortcuts?
I think you said a whole lot when you spoke on digging in a crate. You know, that's where the great things are, and it's funny how they took it away from us and gave us CDs and, you know, the electronic means of, you know, tapping into the synth that has been created. But when you dig in that warm crate of unheard music, or something that reminds you of a time and a place that was special, I think that is, it's timeless. It's something that an Apple mix can't really tap into, you know. So I would say together, dig in crates. That's going to make you know that a musician is necessary, and I think that's what it's evolving into. I see a lot of musicianship out there within this hip hop, and a lot of blending of that vibe. And, you know, the industry itself kind of cut them out a little something, because if you have to pay someone per track that they lay, that like in their union, that takes a whole lot when you got
Right.
this one synth keyboard player that's just going to play the one and get all the sounds that you're looking for. So now these musicians are hungry, and we work together in a way that now we're going to explore and exploit in a live way. And that live music is what taps back into the soul. So if you go to those warm crates and we keep adding this live music onto what we're doing as grown folks in this music, I think it's gonna make a huge difference, because there's something that the technology can't stand up to with that. And let's keep it raw, you know what I mean? Let's keep it real freaky. Like when we're online and we're inviting people, that kind of works. But your name works. Your personality works. When you out there and you actually handing somebody a flyer, and you just as fly as this flyer you passed, and you about to show them a good time, those you know what I mean? Those things work too. And it's very natural. It's very organic. So I think things going back to that, paying promotion teams to put your posters up at different places. You know what I mean? We got to go back to giving each other a new way of existing in this. You know?
It's really, Medusa, at the end of the day, what you just mentioned was stuff that was done before during the aspects of music culture and how we pushed it and grew it and made it to what it is. And
absolutely,
I feel like these people these days are so reliant on a social media to go viral or something to go or get to the point where if everybody and their mama talking about it, then it's cool. But I like organicness too, and art. Like I would rather go outside to the people and fuck with them on that level, mainly because if you spread it out that way, then it's easy for us to adapt and adopt exactly what kind of flavor we want. And you hear it live. Like, if you get a track that's out there right now, like, yo, it's great. Hey, I like whatever it is, critique it, make it sound, make that sound really what it is. And Medusa, my thing, and I just want your thoughts on this too, because I just mentioned the culture of online media now, online radio, online music, online this, that. It's there. It's a crutch. People are lazy based on that. And you talked a mouthful yourself about just, finding different ways and avenues to like elevate it. Do you still think people are like using these tools as a crutch to enhance their laziness, or can we have these workshops and tell these people like, look, there's more to the outside world than just being inside dealing with social media?
Right. Absolutely. I think, what one can enhance the other, because, we're in touch online in a way that sometimes, our phone calls don't make happen. You know, back in the day, you could leave me a voicemail and I'll listen to it probably the next day and then get in touch. It's moving much faster. So I get the need for it. If for instance, Erykah Badu is having an event in Texas and I can't fly to Texas to see it, and she puts it online and it's for a certain amount, I get that part of it too. You know what I mean? But I think as a whole, the raw that we are looking for is outside. It is hand to hand. We shouldn't make this pandemic make us afraid of being hand to hand and seeing each other. You know what I mean? That was kind of that ploy to get you used to ordering online, to get that algorithm moving. You know what I'm saying? So, there's a give and take in it. There definitely is. If I have something I'm promoting, of course I'm going to hit my online social network, but I can't let that network be my net worth. You know what I mean? I'm worth so much more, so I got to go tap in outside. I got to go and see my people. I got to go, to that radio station. I got to go and perform at a jazz festival that I wouldn't typically touch in a hip-hop tip. You know what I'm saying? You got to get out there and get it. You got like you love it, because to me, just sitting in the house and on a screen and, that's not getting out and loving it.
Nah.
Getting out at it is you getting out there and you so in that you forget to take a picture. And hope
I remember
somebody
those
else
days.
caught the moment for you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. See, come on now. That's it right there. Like, I don't know how many functions or moments I've been in, and looking back, like, I got my memories for sure. Like, hey, but if somebody took a picture, cool, because you know what? I didn't get that. Like, I really didn't. But what you said about this social media is just like I play it with that and money. It's a tool. It doesn't define you. You go out there and you figure out and be creative with your own stuff as opposed to just being, bogged down with that tool. So that tool, just like money is a tool. You use it, but freedom and being able to be free to do certain things, that's the mission. Be able to pay that.
Juneteenth, come on.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's important. That's important.
Yeah,
what have you been up to lately though? Like what's been your thing so far?
Wow, I was just doing a program at New Earth with my boy Kane, and we workshopped for I'd say about 3 months, and in Culver City, that's where New Earth is. And these students that we were able to workshop are phenomenal. So, each time I tap into a workshop, or I was teaching at Cal Arts, I find these underdog students that I put a whole lot into. I let them come open for me. I let them become a part of my set. So I found some new breeds in this New Earth, and that was from February to April, and then left on tour with Varietopia. Varietopia is a variety show, and the main comedian is Paul Tompkins. And we had a 4-piece band. Music director Jordan Katz, he plays trumpet. He has, all of the MP sounds. I got Adam Simmons on guitar, who was a co-guitarist. He plays for a lot of the Marleys. I had my girl Darla on drums. I had India on tuba, who was the actual bass lines. She was killing it. Anyway, so I was the musical guest on this Varietopia too. We have a magician, Asaran, and it was about an 1.5-hour show, and it was phenomenal. We toured all over the East Coast. We went up into Canada, and it was like theater shows, like anywhere from 1,000 to 2,500 people seated, watching this unfold, and I got to turn folks out that have never seen me before, never heard of me. So I'm doing 2 joints, and the last joint is Thunderstruck by AC/DC with Paul Tompkins.
Okay.
And it was probably one of the most unique and special tours that I've been on. So, Varietopia. It was phenomenal. And standing ovation every night. It was just always sold out. It was amazing. So I'm back off of that.
That's beautiful. And it's just like I said, I love the fact that you still out there, you still hungry, you still got good energy, you still talk about, just the culture, music culture, everything, right? Like, because to me, I take what I do in this station and how I gave birth to it and what it stands for. I will live for it. I will die for it. Whatever it needs in order for that stuff to grow and pay it forward. Because you know how it is. And even in your art craft, Medusa, you started this, but now it's not even about you. It's really the mission is to just continue to pay what you drew, your canvas, with your music, to give the other people they can be inspired by, right?
That part. I mean, I have a show coming up July 19th. It's a part of a weekend at the Ford Theater. You got Farside and Friends performing the night before. The following day, I'm at Levitt's Pavilion, outdoors. It's free, and it's all ages. And I'm performing with the live band, but I have a lot of guests that are going to be in my set. And the way the stage is set up, the way we're about to give it to you, it's going to be special. I got Joy coming out. I got Vintage. Maya Jupiter. I'm really giving it to the sisters this time, and I got a couple of key special brothers that are going to be on the lineup too. But yeah, please come out, get your folks to come support this because it's going to be special. I just locked down Neb Love too for it. Yeah, it's
That's
going
my
to be
girl. I haven't talked to Neb Love in a minute, so
that's crazy. I just talked to her.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
So I'm just trying to give some shine, to some of the fellow sisters that I think are incredible.
That's beautiful.
I got Becca. Oh my God, yeah, I got a cold lineup.
Mhm.
Yeah, so the 19th of July, and it's a part of a hip hop music weekend and Levitt's Pavilion. Yeah, and I got this new album out, that Top Shelf Funk. So on the tour, I was able to do one of my favorite songs off this album, and it's had a lot of people hit that particular song, and they get exposed to the album. So I am excited about that part of the vision of technology. That I could tap into some folks way across the country, and they tap in by finding my music. I think that's everything.
Love it. I love it. I love it. And then in addition to that, and I know we talked a little bit about social media, I want to ask you, how have you been navigating through it? Have you been, is it, I don't want to say, is it time consuming, I guess I should say, or have you, cut off, specific moments of, I'm going to be on here from, 1 to 2 p.m., and then I'm going to just cut it off and just go back to civilization?
Yes, it did. I mean, typically I do that with the average day of it, and sometimes I leave it alone for a week.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it is time consuming, and it makes me, forget about getting out at some of these studios and getting these songs in is what I really want to do. So, I started doing this thing called morning coffee bars. And now people keep hitting me can we at least get some coffee bars? So I post the important things that are happening in my career. And then I do my coffee bars. So, I walk out with my cup of coffee. I spit a few bars. It could be of some written. It could be of just a freestyle. It could be a poem. It could be just, whatever the moment pulls out of me. So that's my way of staying consistent. I'll do some coffee bars.
There you go. All right, I love it. Medusa is my guest on Nexxlegacy Radio, and a couple more questions. And what I always feel like when you reach back into moments in careers and different things or whatnot when it comes to it. I know you've been dubbed the godmother of hip hop and a lot of different things or whatnot. What are some memorable moments that you could take from when things really first started popping off for you in your career back in the day to just how you felt when you started to see a shift in just how things was moving? It went from one level to the next. How do you feel about that? Or what are some of those moments?
Wait, say that one more time.
Yeah, the moments, the culture of music as far as your career, when you took it up different levels, how did it feel when you went from level 1 to level 2, from level 2 to level 5? What are some of the moments you could think back on and just be like, you know what, this feels like this is bigger now?
Yeah. I would, so many layers and levels. That's why I was like, let me have him repeat that. And it's funny because all of the levels I still get back into, like a good seasoning that's been sitting on the pot for a minute. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when I started doing Nappy at the Roots, and that was a once a month I did every second Friday, and the amount of people that would show up to come to this event and see this live band moment. I had a lot of opening acts, some incredible acts. Yeah. But when they came and made sure they were there for midnight and Fatal Dose would pack out the way it did, and I could have like a Tina Marie walk up to on the stage and do one of my songs, This Pussy's a Gangster, on stage with me. Like moments like that made me realize that I'm doing something very special, very unique. A lot of people would come out to that. I mean, Cat Williams would come and be sitting on the backstage or backstair or up in the VIP to catch me doing that song.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like Nappy at the Roots, the start or the beginning of that was when I knew. And now I think I know even more because I'm that much more comfortable with myself, with my sound, with being open to all the genres that are in me. And I noticed it makes me feel like people have caught up to me, like I might have been before my time. Now I'm so on time, and they're so doing all the many different styles that I've done over the years that there's nothing I can't do that is happening, and there's no me that I can't be with everything that is happening right now. So I'm being all of that and giving all of that.
And it's beautiful for you to share because of this reason. I think a lot of people out there feel like, you know, hey, I've arrived or I have this moment because for whatever reason, fill in the blanks. But I always feel like when people go back and find moments in time where it either shifted or changed their life in a direction where it's an out-of-body experience to feel the love and the energy, as we all talk about, that accomplishments can be made. Like if you put that work into it, and make it feel like it is not just yours and you own it, but that you're giving it to the world. So when you reflect on those kind of moments, it's good to hear because I think a lot of us should be inspired by the work that you continue to do and that you put in, because you don't take this stuff for granted. Like to me, it's important for people to share pieces of themselves in the sense when they do go to work and put music out there or anything. You could have a 9 to 5, and if that's what you love and believe, like you giving yourself to others. And to me, you know, that's pieces of your soul you can never get back. And that's okay.
Just as long as it made them a better person.
Exactly.
With that small sacrifice.
Exactly.
The universe loves you when you sacrifice like that, so you get it right back.
Amen to that. And in closing, I'm gonna ask you this question. Like I always ask people, like, you know, if you could pull back the researches of decades of music and culture and different things like that. Medusa, what is your hands down best music decade ever?
Oh wow. That's really messed up that you would ask me that. Yes. Oh my God.
You can only pick one.
I can only pick one. It would have to be when I discovered funk.
Okay.
So it would have to be the 70s.
Okay.
When I discovered funk, that's a piece of who I am. That's a piece of where my rhythm goes when I dance. That's a piece of I would have to go with that. Now there's been a lot of them, but
yeah. Funk is an out of body experience. I swear, it is such a different vibe. Even the 70s had, like, you got to think about it, like bands and funk bands and everything else that came along with just the makings of what a band was. Like funk was a level. You know what I mean? Like we don't have that no more, Medusa. Like or we can't find it like we used to. We used to be everywhere. It used to be fun here. Feel. You know what I'm saying?
The incredible visuals that came with that. You know what I mean? We just lost Sly Stone.
Yeah.
The visuals that came with that.
Yep.
Stop it. What you mean we used to have spaceships landing on the stage and George Clinton would walk out? What are you talking about? You know what I mean?
Come on, tell that
Let's
truth.
go. What you mean? Earth, Wind, and Fire had the globe of the earth, and they would walk out, and the wind would blow in the auditorium, and the heat would what? What do you mean?
Come on.
What do you mean the wives used to make their costumes first and sew the rhinestones in and the what?
No doubt. Tell that truth. Memorable moments. You can't take it away. Every decade has a piece of whatever. Even like one of my favorite 80s had it. It was hip hop at its apex, but you know, I'm a soundtrack guy. Like you could put on a movie and you hear a certain song and it's just, you know, it would just deliver all time. The 70s did that too, because, you know, Alive, you know, Saturday Night Fever, a lot of different things like
that. Because Superfly alone was, come on.
For real.
I was playing the Mac. Oh, my God. That music. That with Curtis Mayfield? What do you mean?
I love it.
Yeah.
But just give some shout outs to some people that you want to acknowledge as we get ready to close the door on this interview. But God, I love your energy. I could talk to you forever, but
okay, we can definitely go. I love that. I got a shot. Oh, so many people pop in my mind. I got to give it up to Zenobia for hooking us up and just being a full-fledged sister that she is. I love her dearly. PR on it. Yes, Zenobia. I got to give it up for Sinyon Kelly. She has been really helping me through a whole lot, managing what I got going over there, and she's over there at the museum, the Bronx Museum. I got to give it up. Just, God, my mom. I got to slide her something real quick because she's always there with the right things. And she's still here. I got to give it up for Steve Pena over at Sony Orchard for seeing the vision within his vision.
Right.
I gotta give it up for oh my God, all of Leimert Park just for always looking out for me. Always, just representing true and through. Man, I got to give it up for Georgia Ann Muldrow. Just the incredible work that we did on this project. I got to give it up for, who else? Joseph Lineberg. The work that he helped us do on that album is phenomenal. For Aloe Black, for putting us together for this album. I got to give it up for my blowed heads, my good life heads, all the felines that sing and really get down with me. So many people that are really looking out for Wildcraft, for kicking in some sponsorship change for this album. It's really everything. And I want to thank everyone that is starting to tap in and giving me my flowers and giving me my exposure and and the culture of music and hip hop.
That's it. And I want to thank you for not just tapping into Nexxlegacy and you know this being your home as well, but thank you for just being your creative self and giving us the game, like not just your efforts and your musical talents, but also, you know, the times when I know you were, you know, rising at the top, feeling good, and those moments where you were conflicted, because we all get to those points where we're high, low, but you to maintain a consistent legacy in what you do, that speaks volumes. And you know, everybody knows as far as you being one of the first hip-hop artists to assemble a live band, like, to me, I always feel like pay them flowers, but do it while they're still here, because to me, it's wild when you do it after the fact. So don't do that after the fact. Do it now and pay it forward, and that means everything.
That part right there. You said that.
Just I appreciate the time, and don't be a though. Come hang out, like when you feel the need to be able to, you know, add more press to your life and just to tap in with different kinds of energy that still feels aligned like the same, then come holler at me. Come on.
I definitely will, Charles. That's love right there. You got me.
Always, always. Appreciate you, dear. Be blessed.
I appreciate you. You too. Peace.
All right.
Thank you for listening to the #1 radio station for the people.
Nexxlegacy Radio.